Hey guys, I'm Abby and this is my channel, and today I'm going to go over some kind of travel locations that I really want to go to. For the last year and a half we've kind of been in lockdown, not being able to really travel that much, especially internationally because of COVID. I know here in the US and many places vaccines are really starting to roll out and things are getting a little better, so we can start actually looking forward to traveling. In this video, I'm just going to list kind of my top 10 places internationally I would like to go. All these are places I haven't been. Some of them I kind of already had plans to go to before COVID hit. So now I would just actually like to go there now. And I am mentioning just international travel because it is kind of the one I've missed the most. I've been able to travel a little bit around the US, even though there's still many places I would like to go. But international travel has been pretty much off the books for a while. So now that restrictions are loosening and people are getting vaccines and it's becoming possible to travel again, it's nice to kind of reflect and get plans set for future when it can actually happen. So I went through and just picked my top 10 kind of places I want to go. I'm just listing countries in general, not exact places within each country. I might talk about them when I get to it, but they are countries all around the world. Some have been on my list for a long time, some are a little newer, but let's get started and go through them. So the first country I'm going to list, or kind of region within a country I'm going to list, is Scotland. I actually had plans to go to Scotland. Me and my friend were going to go, and about a week before our flight was supposed to leave is when lockdown went into effect all over the world. So we kind of had to cancel everything last minute, and we, at first not knowing when COVID would be done, we just kind of delayed it, and then eventually we had to cancel it. So that is kind of the first on my list to go to. Me and my friend now have started to talk again about rescheduling our trip to Scotland, hoping to do it later this year if possible. We really want to go to like Edinburgh and Loch Ness, you know, kind of big, kind of well-known touristy places in Scotland, but it's definitely on the top of our list since we were supposed to leave about a week after lockdown went into effect, but we had to cancel it. So that's definitely top on my list and first to be planned for international travel. I've been to England and Ireland, so just kind of get more places off the British Isles off my list and hit Scotland when travel to the UK is possible again. So the next country that I'm going to mention is not too far from Scotland, but it is still in Europe, and that is Germany. Germany's been on my list for a while to visit. There's so many like very fairy tale looking towns and kind of picturesque European looking buildings throughout Germany. Plus there's a lot of history and things to do within Germany, especially around Berlin. But I also would like to go down to the south to like Munich and kind of see the two sides of the country. I don't have any set plans to go to Germany yet, but I do have a friend group that is trying to go to Europe somewhere. So I might throw out Germany as my suggestion of places to go, though I know there are many places that are up on the board in Europe to go. Germany has kind of been at my top since I hit some of my other major countries and places that I wanted to go first. So within Europe, Germany's kind of way up there on my list to see and experience. So next I'm going to head a little bit south for my next country and across the Mediterranean Sea, and I'm going to pick Morocco as one of the countries I really want to visit. I've seen many pictures of people going throughout these really cool like towns with their red brick and through markets with all the cool textiles and, you know, very Arabic looking lamps and rugs and things. It just seems super cool to walk through those and like buy souvenirs. But I think Morocco is a really good place to kind of get the feel of kind of northern Africa. I was kind of deciding between Egypt and Morocco. You know, Egypt has the pyramids and all the Egyptian history within it, but Morocco just seems a little unique and cool, and many of the things you can do in Egypt you can do in Morocco just without the Egyptian side. So I decided to kind of put Morocco on my list as a place I really want to go. It just looks like a really cool place, very different from kind of anywhere I've been before. Therefore, I put it on my list of kind of places to check out. And then the next country I want to put on this list is also in Africa, just at the very opposite end, and that's South Africa. I've seen so many people post about Cape Town and the abundance of things to do there. They have a lot of hiking within the city that I know of, but there's also cool buildings and places to see while there. I also know you can go outside the cities and go on safaris and such, which is also a really cool thing to do while in Africa somewhere. It'd be really cool to see these animals more in the wild and instead of in zoos like I usually do. So that's kind of on my top list of things I want to do. So yeah, South Africa is kind of my southern African country I picked to put on my list. I did debate whether I wanted to put South Africa or Kenya. Heard a lot of cool things about Kenya to go to and see, but not as much as I've heard about South Africa, so that's why it got put on the list instead. The next country I put on my list is kind of in between Africa, Asia, and Europe, and that is Turkey. Turkey seems such a cool place. There's a couple different places I want to go. Of course, Istanbul, to see all the cool architecture and stuff within the city, is top on my list. To go through the Great Bazaar and look at all the textiles there. Then there's also the Hagia Sophia and all the history and such. Just kind of be the conversion of Europe and Asian cultures kind of coming together with a lot of Arabic influence. So I think Turkey would be a great place to visit. There's also places along the coast that have a lot of Greek history and influence and architecture there. The Greeks that influenced that area. A lot of temples and stuff for the Greek gods that it would be super cool to go see. It's almost as if you were going to Greece, but you're in Turkey. So Turkey has been on my list for a while to go see, just because of the history and merging of cultures throughout the world that kind of ended up in Turkey, to go see and look at the influence of different areas in one place. But the next country, I'm heading over to the east side of Asia, and this is the country I actually had plans to go to in 2020, late 2020, but it eventually got canceled because of COVID and the situation continuing. But I was supposed to take a trip to China. I'm still really wanting to go to China. I don't know exactly when it will happen, since I was planning on going there before the whole situation. I definitely want to put it kind of more towards the top of my list to rebook and go again. There's so much history and culture in China throughout it. There's so many places to visit, from the capital, Beijing, to Shanghai, or to like the ancient capital of Xi'an. See the like terracotta warriors would be super cool, or experience a little bit of the Great Wall. But China is still definitely a place I would love to go visit and see just the history and the different culture and the architecture that they have there. You know, hopefully if things calm down a lot more, maybe the program I was going to go on will reopen and I can re-sign up for it, because it was one of the trips I was really looking forward to and kind of was bummed that it was canceled. But hopefully I'll get a chance to go to China sometime in the near future. And the next country on my list is right next door to China, and that is Korea. I have a friend who just moved to Seoul, and then another friend who's in the process of moving there. She's working on her visa paperwork still, but it's definitely a place I've kind of wanted to visit. If you don't know, I do watch Korean dramas on like Netflix. So through my like of the dramas and learning about their culture outside of it, I think it'd be a really great place to go visit. Especially having friends there, it'd be nice to see them again. But Korea has its own culture and architecture that's a little different from China, so it'd be cool to go see them also. The only place I have been in East Asia is Japan, so China and Korea have kind of been on my list to hit the other kind of major countries within the area. And hopefully I can kind of go to Korea soon, just to visit my friends there. Also just to get to experience the culture and see the great sights that are there sometime soon. It's been a long time since I've been to East Asia, so I'd love to go back. Definitely see a lot of the major sites within Seoul, go to the tower or the palace. And then also there's like that really famous library within the COEX Mall. I would love to see in person. As a lover of books, just to see that really cool library would be nice. For the next country on my list, I'm going to head south from China and Korea and pick Australia. There are so many places and things I want to see in Australia, but it is a giant country, so I kind of really would like to go to Sydney and, you know, see the major sites there. Also going to like the middle of the country and seeing the big red rock that's pretty famous there would be very cool. I have actually been to the Sydney airport when I was on my way to New Zealand, but sadly I did not get to leave and go see anything because I was just transferring through, but definitely seeing it from the airplane windows, landing and taking off, made me really want to go out one day and see them in person. And considering how far away Australia is, it is pretty easy to get there. For me, they have direct flights to Sydney from Dallas. That's the flight I took going to New Zealand, and it was one of the longest flights I took, but also one of the easiest considering. So I definitely wouldn't mind taking it again, but actually getting to stay in Australia that time, go out and explore, definitely see the Opera House, maybe climb the bridge, but getting to visit a lot of the sites and things within Australia that there is to see. But one of the next countries on my list to go see is across the Pacific Ocean in South America, and that is Peru. Peru, of course, is home to Machu Picchu, which is a fantastic Inca site that I would love to go visit, along with many other sites. And their capital, Lima, is also known as a very food city, so I would love to go there and try all the different cuisines and foods that they have there. Having never been to South America, Peru has always been kind of at the top of the list of countries to first visit while going there, especially with the food scene and then just the history that is there from the Inca Empire. So hopefully one day I will go get to visit. I think they also have a lot of places tourists love to go and see the cities like Cusco. So Peru is definitely top on my list to visit if I head south. But the last country I'm going to mention is also within South America, and one that I would really love to go visit, and that is Argentina. I've kind of wanted to visit Argentina for a while. It was a country that I had to do a report on while in school, so I know a little bit about the country, and especially Buenos Aires, the capital, that I would love to go visit and see many of the sites. And then also on the western side of the country, sharing with Chile, is the Patagonia area, which is very famous for hiking. I would love to go visit and maybe do a hiking tour through the Patagonia area. And technically it could be Chile or Argentina that I pick for that, but Buenos Aires is always also a place I would love to go visit, so I put Argentina. And it's also known a lot for their dances. The Argentina tango is pretty popular. I'd love to go see like a show of Argentina dancers doing like the tango or many other dances that they are kind of famous for. But Argentina's always been kind of one of those places I wanted to go visit eventually. So if I don't go to Peru first in South America, Argentina will probably be the next country I pick to first visit if I'm heading to South America. But there you go. There are 10 countries I really would love to go visit. Some I have plans to hopefully visit soon once COVID dies down a little bit more, and some that I had plans for that got canceled that I would love to revisit, make plans for again. And then there are a lot of other countries I don't really have plans, but I would love to pick as one of my next destinations. I definitely miss a lot of international travel that we haven't got to do in the last year and a half or so. So hopefully people keep getting vaccinated and really work so we can get through this time and get to visit other countries and such again. But let me know down below if you've been to one of the countries I mentioned, or what country you would like to visit when we are able to travel freely again. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, if you want to be someone, why not be you? Bye guys.